If it's your first time catching me live or watching this on the replay, welcome. My name is Tabitha Christopher of TabithaChristopher.com. My company founded the Mind Style Makeover Bootcamp, also known as MSMBC. It is a character and resilience building training program that provides students in college, high school, and middle school with a roadmap to succeed academically, athletically, socially, and emotionally. My company specializes in these wellness and resiliency training programs to also serve professionals, empowering them to prioritize their well being so that they can elevate their teams and their organization success. Hey, what's going on, Rachel? What's going on, Secret? Hey, Amaya. Now I know who it is. So, hello. Thank you so much for letting me know it's you. I know it's you. So good. So, y'all, really quick, I just wanted to pop on here because we didn't get to do our weekly Mind Style Makeover Monday chat this past Monday. I was physically in some pain. Okay. Time of the month. Time of the month. So, anyways, I just want to jump right into this. The title is Don't Fake It to Make It. For those of you that don't know, I am a former actress. I worked in the entertainment industry for a little over a decade. And I also am an award winning double national certified personal trainer. And I had the opportunity of developing programs to help my clients get their health back on track and had successfully worked with 300 clients and helping them get their health back on track. And then I went on to create what is the Mind Style Makeover Method and have effectively impacted a little over 7,000 individuals and helping them to learn how to stop faking it and own their story. In fact, tonight's power chat that we're going to have with the Mind Style Makeover, it says, don't fake it to make it. I grew up with that saying permeating through my conscious to my non-conscious and subconscious and all the way through. Fake it to make it to get through this hard time, whatever that challenge was. Just fake it to make it. You'll get through it. Just push through, suppress all of what you're feeling, and just focus on the moment. Um, just focus on the moment. Focus on what's in front of you, of what needs to get done in order for you to get through whatever that challenging moment is. And that went on into the entertainment industry as well. Big it's a big slogan. It's what is elevated and centered around essentially, if you're having the feels, whether it is you're nervous before a performance, you don't feel fully ready, or let's just face it, you happen to not prepare well for that performance. Let's say, for instance, you're getting ready to give a speech for class, a presentation in front of a group of people, and you did not prepare well, and you are now nervous as a result of that. Or maybe you just have a fear of public speaking that you've not built up that muscle, that presentation muscle as yet, and you are learning, you are growing, you are becoming better as you're practicing this new skill that you're developing, and you feel nervous, you have all the nerves. And what would be said oftentimes in the world of performance would be, fake it till you make it, right? So you're not quite there yet. You haven't fully owned the stage yet, because you don't feel like you're in complete control. Like at any moment, the audience could just take the show away from you. Fake it like you've arrived, and eventually you will be there. And I wanted to say to you, to encourage you tonight, own your story. Don't fake it to make it. And what do I mean by owning your story? And as a born again believer, I am so thankful to have this answer, to have this solution that supersedes any psychology, any created study from man studying the fallen state of man. It supersedes all of that. and that there's an answer that provides freedom. There's an answer that provides a way to elevate above that suppressed, burdensome, um, burdensome feeling of the fear or of I'm trying to put my words together here. Maybe let me say it this way. Whenever I'm asked, do you ever get nervous before you get up to speak? And I would say, sometimes yes. Not often, but sometimes yes. And then usually the follow up question would be, well, how do you handle that nervousness? How do you handle that feeling of fear? And do I lean into it? Do I acknowledge it? No, I don't. Like I may confess to you and say I feel nervous. I feel very nervous. I feel, but I will never say I am afraid, right? I don't want to, and if I have said it in the past, I would not allow for that statement to stick. I will not allow for that statement to become the leading force of my thoughts going into a performance. And I was just thinking this not too long ago, like literally less than 30 minutes ago, it came to me going over that conversation, those questions that would come up sometimes when I would have, whether friends or family or audience members come up and say, do you ever get nervous anymore? And I would say, yeah. They say, so what do you do? Do you just fake it to make it? I said, no, I don't acknowledge it anymore. I choose to not acknowledge it because that's not who I am. I focus my thoughts on the truth of who I have been created to be. And this is what I'm encouraging you to do. You and I weren't given a spirit of fear. That's not our identity. Which is why it feels so unnatural whenever we are experiencing anxiety, whenever we're worrying, whenever we are doubtful, whenever we are full of fear. It just feels unnatural, and it causes our body to do things that's not good for our overall physiological or psychological well-being, because we weren't created to be that, to be fearful, to be fear-filled. So what I want to encourage you to do is to own your story. Your story is that you were created with power, love, and a sound mind. That's who you and I were created to be. So what I've chosen to do is that whenever I feel those nerves, I acknowledge the truth of who I am: power, love, and peace. I acknowledge that, I declare that, and then I lean into that, and I redirect my thinking to the purpose of why I am doing what I'm doing because of who I've been created to be. Is that making sense? So it's not okay. So some psychologists would say, well, acknowledge the feeling of fear, embrace it, and then let it go. I'm not embracing what I'm not. That makes absolutely no sense. Please share this. It makes absolutely no sense. Why would I embrace who I am not? Why would I own what I'm not? That's not my identity. You see, whatever it is that you want to proclaim, whatever it is that you want to embrace, whatever it is that you want to stick, whatever it is that you want to be a part of you, I'm going to tell you this much right now. from the litany, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of hours of research that I've spent to develop the Mind Style Makeover method, everywhere where I have read, researched, studied, implemented different methods, put it all together, fear doesn't work for us because we weren't ever created to be it, to live in it. Doesn't work. It shuts us down. It causes us to get into a place of stuck. And some will say, well, actually, there is such a thing as good fear. It can make you take positive actions. If you're fearful of a recession and not having enough, it can make you do things that's actually positive, that's actually good. And I've also seen where that same behavior, being reactive to the feeling of fear, the feeling of losing, the feeling of what's going on, Scott, right? Being reactive to that could cause us to then live still in that rut over and over again. I'm fearful of this and fearful of that. And those individuals, oftentimes very, very successful in business and money, oftentimes would find themselves struggling with things within their physical bodies, whether it's, oh my gosh, upset stomach, can't sleep well, and it starts to then cause an increase of deterioration within that person's overall well-being. So while on one side, when one would say, well, there is such a thing as good fear, I would want to then ask, could we do an extensive study of what takes place in a person that is continuously being reactive to a fear-filled feeling? What is taking place in their psychological and physiological well-being over the course of their life? What is actually happening down at the molecular level? What's happening? I promise you, you can do the research on your own of what's taking place within that person. If it continues to be in that chronic state of continuously reacting, continuously worried, it doesn't do us any good. So what must we do instead? We must embrace the truth of who we are. Like, okay, I see that there's a problem. I see that this could be a problem for me and my family. Okay, let me look at this in a proactive way and let me respond to it to where it will elevate me and my family from this situation. And then the rest I'm going to place, for me and my house, we place it at the foot of the cross. 1 Peter 5:7, I'm going to cast all my cares onto the one who made me. Because you and I were not made to carry burdens. You and I were not made to carry the worries, the fears, the insecurities, the doubts. We weren't made for it. And our bodies tell us that every single day. Whenever we are living stuck in a state of fear-filled reaction, our body responds. It communicates back to us. It says, listen, please, for your own good, choose life. Choose life. What are you worrying for? We can't control these things. We can only control what we have to decide on in that moment. And in that moment, Trailblazer, let's choose life. Right? Amen. Scott said, amen. Let's choose life. Okay? Don't fake it to make it. Own your story. Your story, my story, your story, my story is that we are created with power, love, and a sound mind. We were not given a spirit of fear. So not at any time ever do we need to, oh my gosh, I feel fear, so let me embrace it and then let it go. Let's never embrace who we are not. Let's embrace the truth of who we were created to be. Power, love, and a sound mind. I keep thanking God for his peace as fear keeps coming in. There we go. Send that spirit right back where it came from. Because that's what it is a spirit. And it's trying to attach itself to my identity. Right? Because once our identity is warped, it's then going to make it very muddled for us to see what our purpose in life actually is. Next thing you know, we're doing things outside of our character. We're like, wait a minute, that's not me. And then we start feeling bad. Like, I don't know why. Oh, we don't need to do that to ourselves. And if we ever get into that spiral, which we definitely will at some point, we know what to do. We will lean into the truth of who we were created to be: power, love, and peace. Lean into that, declare it, own our story, which that's our identity. And we don't ever have to fake it to make it. No, we live by faith. We live by faith. We live by faith. And we will definitely always make it. God bless you real good. And I look forward to chatting with you all on our next Mind Style Makeover. God bless. Thanks, God.